behalf of the Vice Chancellor and the University to welcome you all to this special workshop that is being delivered by one of our statesmen from around the City of Kings, Mr. Ingram. And I'm quite sure that it's going to be an eye-opener because his theories are such that they are at variance with the accepted norms of economics.
I think NUST could be a very useful forum here today for discussing this, because you have got all these different departments who can assess what I'm saying and who can give me the feedback that I need to carry this further forward.
Together we include some of your university's top administrators. Thank you for coming. Banking, most important, finance, accounting, business management, marketing, actuarial science and insurance, all very important. Electrical and engineering, applied mathematics, computer science, and due to pure enthusiasm, applied physics. You're all welcome. Thank you for coming.
What we have is a failure of the designers of the economy to comply with their own textbooks, which say that there should be a level playing field so that all assets in the economy are treated the same. That's where the thing starts to go wrong, because we haven't got that. Tax on savings is not done in the same way as tax on property. So to that extent, it's not me that's out of tune, it's everybody else. That's just the start. If they had put that right, you would not have a cash flow problem if they managed the repayments on your mortgage in a way that you could afford them. So here's my theme: an undistorted economy by its very nature would offer employment to everyone that wants to work at almost all times. If we didn't have money, you would all be working, doing something, helping each other. So why is it that when we've got money, that doesn't happen? What I'm using is over here for you so that you can see it at all times. On the economic structure, we want a structure that does not distort any movements or changes that take sectors or cash flows, sectors of the economy, out of alignment with each other or out of balance. If these are the sectors, we want them all to move up, that means grow, at the same pace at the same time. If we want them to slow down because we're overheating, we want that to happen at the same time. So we don't want anything that distorts that pattern. And the tax system certainly does that, and so does the lending system. We get housing sector way out of line with all the other sectors very quickly whenever interest rates change. On the economic management side, which is session 2, the same thing. Let's keep a balance between the sectors. Let's not use an instrument that pushes these sectors ahead and these other sectors catch up later. Because if you do that, what happens is that you get a whole lot more employment here, and they pull employment from over here. And then when these catch up, everything sort of has to rebalance. And by the time that happens, we're in another phase, and the whole thing is starting again in the other direction. So the other thing is we want to avoid sudden policy and rule changes. And the reason for that is that if you're in business, you've got to invest money. When you invest money, you're taking a chance. So you want to be pretty sure what the rules are going to be, what the tax is going to be, what the economy is going to be doing when the time comes for you to get the return on your investment. If the economy was a garden, this is the second session, you would water all of it, not just one corner, not just people who are borrowing, hoping that the water would eventually find its way to the whole garden. But that's how we treat the economy. What happens when you need more money in the economy? The banks say, well, have some money that doesn't exist, we'll lend you some money that we haven't got. And that creates new money. And it goes to one sector, it goes to these sectors here that are already in trouble with the lending system. And they then start to spend the money here and here, and they then start to spend the money here and here. By the time these people have got it, these people are now being hit by the next economic cycle, and you never get a balance. So That's what makes economic cycles hard to control. It has something to do with why economists cannot think of a way out of the current economic crisis. Economists are not trained systems design engineers, and the system we have is unmanageable. And I'll explain that more in the second session. The money-creating system that we have now is unsuited to its task. Well, this is what I'm going to be saying in the second session. It is slow-acting. It works when people want to borrow money, not like now when there's a world recession. So how can it pump up the world economy? And when it does work, it is hard to know when to stop it or to measure how much money it's creating. And finally, it puts all the money into a few sectors of the economy, which knocks it out of balance. I was thinking of bringing somebody into the room with me and putting a rope around. And the rope was going to be coiled here on the floor. And that represents this system of managing the economy. We pull on the rope, tell people borrow, borrow, borrow. They don't need to borrow. The place is in recession, so nothing happens. Eventually they start to borrow and they come along with you. And then when they go past, you can't anymore stop them. You don't know where they've got to, how far the money has got, or how hard to pull on the rope. How would you like to have that system for driving a motor car? Put your steering into that kind of system. I'll come back to that in the second session.
That island that was printing money, did it assume a closed economy?
It assumed a closed economy.
The role the government should be. If you check this morning, there was a problem on Wall Street because they are saying Obama is trying to take over some of the banks, and the confidence is sort of going down.
In this model, you don't need a government. You need a money supply authority, and the rest happens automatically.
I just wanted to know whether you have now tested last year's model and the progress that you are making.
Nobody has offered me a bank, so I haven't tested it. But I'm waiting for some government to volunteer. I've tried Botswana, but they're too busy to listen. That's the general level of interest, I think. And in South Africa, I find that I'm working through the universities there, getting them interested, but they're too busy to listen, so I get the odd hour here and there. Whereas I need a session like this with them and they're not giving it to me. And then from there they'll probably influence the government. But the process is going to take years at this rate.
Nearly all the participants said the university should take further interest and that they should hold further workshops with other universities in the region. One person wrote that the model represents a new era in economic theory. It comes at a time when innovation in economics is most needed. The chairperson of another department said he enjoyed the presentation and hopes to get a copy of the book for further reading. He said NUST could consider awarding Ingram a professorship.